Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode with the returning drafter. And first off, I would just like to apologize for my voice. I am a bit under the weather with a flu, so apologies and just bear with me. Okay, before we get into the episode, I would just like to do a recap. uh, so in the last episode, we did folder structures, project codes, naming. We also did standards, operational standards, and I gave you guys a document. Um, yeah, I think that's about it that we covered in a bit more detail. So before we jump into what is going to be in this episode, I would just like to give a shout out to one of the people that commented on um, the first video I made. And though I don't normally work in that uh, area, so he asked for American Imperial, I did a bit of research and I changed the document just for him. So shout out to Fabio Cruz 2471. We're just going to cover a slight change in that document quickly before we continue. Okay, so apologies. So the document is this one over here. So it's a standard office practice document. And there's a few changes that we just need to look at here. So this is the same document I gave you guys, with just a little bit of changes. Um, so if we look at, if we scroll down, yeah, length precision, 1 and 1/16 inch, decimal degrees, insertion scale is in inches. Here I gave you the standard sheet in imperial as well. So please look at that. And then as well as the standard scales, right? So print this out, laminate it, and stick it to your wall or to your screen or whatever is easiest for you. And then I also gave you inches for the um, layers, layer styles, right? Um, then I also went a little step further and I also did textiles for you, right? So take a pause, a screenshot, um, and let me know if that works for you. And yeah, so without further ado, let's jump into what I have planned for this session. Uh, So for this session, we're going to look at client intake forms, transmittals, quotations, a SANS checklist, drawing register, and a letterhead, right? So this is more setting up the actual drawing office that you're planning to have, right? So let's jump over to the document and see what actually, apologies. Let's just first see what the first one is. It's the intake form. Now, in this form, you capture all the client details, right? The name, the numbers, the actual address, the earth number. You put in there what type of building it is, if it's a restaurant, if it's a home that you're building, a residential home that you're building, the area, what the area is of where you need to work on, as well as the scope of the work, right? Um, Also take notes as you go of the constraints that's on the site, the servitudes, the slopes, as well as the boundary setbacks. Uh, you lock down what type of communication the client prefers, and also who is in that chain, right? So maybe you working alone in an architect is the client. You don't send it directly to the client, you send it to the architect. Um, and this, all of this becomes the reference of the scope, right? And that scope you follow, right? So let's see uh, what that form would look like, right? So, oh, excuse me. So this is what the form would look like. Um, Normally you would have your email address and your logo up there as well. You just state what the project is, when and by who, the client details, the actual property details, that's the site area. In the project scope, you put the floor area, what type of building it is. It's a new build, it's not renovations. Scope of the work, they want the full set. So site plans, floor plans, roof plans, elevations, sections, training diagrams, as well as the checklist for submission, right? Budget is 1.8 to 2.2. And that's not your budget. Please don't get me wrong. That is the budget for the entire project, right? And target submission date is September 2026, right? So now constraints. There's a little bit of a 1 meter servitude along the north boundary, and there's also a bit of a slope to the south of 1 to 2, oh sorry, 1 to 20, and there's no existing structures, right? It's a vacant land. And some special requirements. The client wants a nice braai area that's covered, and the garage must be street facing with a separate study slash office area as well, right? They do refer the client, or where did he hear from you, and then obviously just a sign off, right? And that's all you need in your intake form, right? Let's see what is next. Next, you have a quotation. Now, this pulls everything from what you've gathered on site. You're not doing it, you're just taking what you already have, and it lists the deliverables, right? Which drawings, which states, and it also needs to gives what is included and what is not included. There should be no gray areas, right? Show your fee and show your payment terms, right? Because we can't be doing all this work and not get paid for it, right? And then obviously it requires a signature for acknowledgement before you commence with your work. So let's see what that would look like. So a quotation, obviously again, your contact details should be filled out with your logo. It doesn't have to look like this. There's a lot of templates online that you could use, but obviously details of the client, uh, what you're doing. So stage one, that's the concept drawing plan, site plan, sketches of evaluation for client approval. uh, Sorry. Uh, and then stage two, stage three, and then obviously all your requirements or resources that you use to produce this outcome, right? So printing is the main one there. The terms would be 50% upfront, and then balance would be once it's approved, right? That's stage one. Stage two, again upfront, and then on delivery for submission, another 50%, right? Inclusions, it's all the drawings in PDF. You get 2 rounds of revisions. Now, obviously, that's dependent on you, the size of the project. You can have 3, 4, 5, or unlimited revisions, but that is obviously based on your project size, right? And then obviously the compliance check. What is not included is all the structural, electrical, mechanical drawings, as well as the fee for submission for council, uh, as well as geological and land survey fees. Excuse me. And then obviously just a client acceptance acknowledgement there, right? And that is it. So next up, we have the drawing register. Now the drawing register is listed by numbers, right? So each title, each scale, the revision number, everything needs to be included in this, right? And you set it up at the beginning of the project, at the end, or while you're working, because can become quite difficult to manage if there's a lot of drawings, right? So track issue status per drawing, right? So if there's an issue that you're working on that specific drawing, track it for that specific drawing, right? Uh, this also prevents version confusion between you and the client or between anyone else that you're working with on this project, right? And this forms the basis for your transmittal document, right? So let's just see how that would look in a real life scenario. So this is a drawing client details, project details, and then obviously the drawing number, drawing title, scale, revision, status, and date issued, right? And here you can see the different statuses that I'm referring to there. And that is literally it. And this obviously becomes longer the more drawings you have, but the concept stays the same. Okay. Next up, we have the transmittal document. And in this document, this is where you record what was sent, where, when, who, and why, right? Uh, it also documents if it's for preliminary use, just for approval, or this is actual for construction, right? It creates a traceable trail for every drawing issued. Right? It also protects you if there's a dispute on where the client received it and who received it, who signed for it, right? And it always accompanies the set of drawings before it leaves the office. So if you're setting drawings out by the door, make sure it has a transmittal sheet attached to it. Okay, let's see how that would look. So with the transmittal sheet, uh, scroll down, similar to your drawings, drawing sheet, drawing register, sorry. You have the details, and then what drawings is in there, what is going out, right? Purpose, and then action required. Within 7 days, you need to know what's going on, and then just acknowledgement. Excuse me. Yeah. So that is it. Doesn't need to be fancy. You could do this in Word. So yeah, that is a basic transmittal sheet. Next up, uh, we're going to look at the sales checklist. Now, this is just a list of drawings and information required by the local authority for submission, right? It also flags compulsory details like the site plan, drainage, and structural notes. Now, obviously, you're not doing the structural. Of course, you can. If you're multidisciplinary, you can do that. Uh, but normally, you work with someone or a different team to produce something together, right? Um, and it all parts apply to the specific project, right? The, it prevents scrambling at the last minute when submission is due. So you do it at the beginning as you start your project. So you work around the project, right? And this will shape your compliance, right? So you're doing it right from the get-go and not doing the work, and then at the end there's going to be issues, and now you need to run around, right? So let's just see what that sheet will look like. So that sheet will look like something like this, right? Again, project information, and then this is for general use, drainage, structural, fire, and that is your status. That's it. And this is you work according to this, right? Okay, let's see what is next. Next up, you have your letterhead. Now, obviously, everyone should know this by now. This is just to show your identity. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Apologies for that. It shows your contact details, your logo, right? And it also shows your professionalism, right? And it should be uniform between all your communication. So if you have a quotation, make sure it corresponds with the sheets that you're sending out on paper, right? And this ties all your admin together in one single brand, right? Now on the document itself, it's not a full letterhead, but it's something like this. You would obviously, like I mentioned earlier, your full contact details with your logo, and then you can save that as a template that just every time you open it, you add to that document, right? And that is it. I hope you found some value in this. And if you did, please uh, like, subscribe. Uh, in our next episode, we're going to actually dive into the project. It's not a real project, it's just one that I'm working on. Um, so I'm going to take you guys through how I do that, right? And obviously learning along the way. Uh, yeah, so I will see you guys in the next episode. And again, shout out to Fabio Cruz uh, for the first comment ever. I appreciate it, man. Uh, cool. See you guys in the next video. Cheers.